Goodbye to Pokemoshpitbeta. I'm 6ftHax, and today I bring you an RU tier battle against TheLightningFlare. Now, this was a very fun and very close battle that I hope all of you will enjoy, so how about we get right into it? I'm going to be leading off with my Scarf Rotom Cut, as he's going to be leading off with his Galvantula. Now, right off the bat, since he did lead off with Galvantula, they should have automatically told me that he was Scarf, but for some reason, I was thinking that he would just go for the Volt Switch. That way, I could Volt Switch on whatever he comes in, and I would get Switch Initiative, but no, that is not the case, and he actually goes straight for the Bug Buzz, just completely obliterating my Rotom Cut, so that was a very stupid thing for me to think at that moment of the battle, so hopefully I can come back from being down 5-6. As this turn, I actually end up going on to my Steelix, knowing that I do resist the Bug Buzz, so I know he's going to switch out this turn, and I'm just going to go for the Gyro Ball and whatever he wants to bring in. Now, what I could have done was got up my Stealth Rocks, but as you see there, he does have a Clay Doll, so I didn't want to get up my Rocks and just have them Rapid Spin away, making my turn completely useless. Now, since I know he's just going to go for the Earth Power or possibly get up his own Stealth Rocks, my best switch is to go into Gardevoir, and since I do have the Trace ability, as you saw there, I will be able to trace his Levitate ability, allowing me to not be hit by the Earth Power, which means next turn, I know he's going to stay in and go for the Stealth Rocks, because I do not have a Rapid Spinner on my team. Those Rocks are here to stay, which is a bit unfortunate, but my team really isn't Rock Weak, so they're not going to be that big of a nuisance. Now, since I know that Claydol don't normally tend to carry Shadow Ball, I am going to predict him to switch out and just go straight for another Will-O-Wisp, and luckily for me, I actually managed to catch the Crawdon, which is just amazing, because if a Crawdon is allowed to set up with Dragon Dance, then it's pretty much good to sweep. But since I did get the Will-O-Wisp off, I know he's just going to want to stay in and possibly just go for Crunch and just try to get as much damage off on whatever he can with the Crawdon. But no, he actually ends up going for a Dragon Dance, which really doesn't make that big of a difference because now he's only at -1 attack instead of -2, and even at -1, Crawdon really cannot do that much. So I know my Steelix can take absolutely anything that thing wants to throw me, and I'm just going to stay in and go for a Gyro Ball to see how much damage it would do. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that much, as you're about to see. Now, also what I could have done was gone for my Stealth Rocks, but my game plan right now is to get rid of Clay Doll. That way, when I do go for my Stealth Rocks, I do not have to worry about them being spun away. And even though I do have a Spiritomb on my team, I don't want to risk switching it in and having him predict me and go for Earth Power and possibly critting my Spiritomb. So yeah, I'm just going to go for a Gyro Ball Earthquake combo, so I'm going to try to stick to that plan, but as you're going to see this turn, it goes completely to shit, because I do predict him to go for a Volt Switch thinking I would want to switch out, but no, he does make a good play and go straight for the Hidden Power Fire. As this turn, I am going to switch out to my Feraligatr, and since I know he's locked into Hidden Power Fire, I can easily just go for his Swords Dance, and whatever he brings in is going to get decimated by a +2 Adamant Life Orbed Waterfall, as he goes on to Spiritomb. Now, borrowing that Spiritomb is not max defense and max HP, he will not be able to take this Waterfall, and even if he was and did go for a Will-O-Wisp, I know I would be able to KO him next turn with a second Waterfall, but it actually turns out that he's not, because this is an easy one-hit KO, so Spiritomb, another big threat, is out of the way as he goes back out to Galvantula. Now, I'm not too positive or too sure if a +2 Aqua Jet will be an easy one-hit KO on the Galvantula, so I am going to be forced to switch out into my Gardevoir, thinking he would just want to go for the Volt Switch, but no, he does go straight for the Thunder, and judging from how much damage it did to my Gardevoir, I'm pretty sure that the Galvantula is Timid Scarf instead of Modest Scarf. So this turn, I know he's going to opt to switch out just because the Thunder does not seem to be an easy 2-hit KO on my Gardevoir, so I'm freely going to go for a Wish. Now, what he could have done as well is stayed in and kept going for Thunder, eventually either being able to KO me or even paralyze me, but luckily that is not the case, as he did opt to switch out to Munchlax. Now, the way he brought it in has me thinking that he's just going to go straight for the Whirlwind, so I opted to go for the Will-O-Wisp on the off chance that he did go for that, but no, he actually ends up going for the Curse. Now, I'm not too sure what Curse Munchlax like to do, just because I've never faced one, but this turn I do get my Wish, bringing me up to full HP, which will allow me to take hits better from the Galvantula later on in this battle, as I do opt to switch out to my Buffalon, thinking, well, I am Adamant max attack, so I'm pretty sure that a Head Charge will be doing a significant amount of damage to the Munchlax, but what I wasn't paying attention to was to how many pluses in defense he had at this point, and since he did go for 2 curses along with the Eviolite, he is now at +3 defense, so that Head Charge does absolutely nothing, as I opt to switch out to my Spiritomb this turn, because Spiritomb is honestly my last chance to deal with this Munchlax, especially if he starts cursing up. Now, I'm hoping that he would just be Curse, Rest Talk with Body Slam, but unfortunately that is not the case. As you see, he did not go for Sleep Talk, so I know he either has Fire Punch or Earthquake as his last option, and as you see there, he does have the Earthquake, which really does suck, because if he had Fire Punch over Earthquake, the Fire Punch would be doing less damage than the Earthquake, just because both moves are neutral on my Spiritomb. So I am just going to keep staying in, just start calm minding up and hitting him with Dark Pulses. Just hoping that I can flinch him or maybe even possibly crit him. Just because this is going on for a little while, and normally in Star Wars, eventually someone gets critted, and I'm hoping that will not be me. As this turn, I know if he doesn't take me out with this Earthquake, I will be able to KO him with my next Dark Pulse, and luckily, I live with 6 HP, and I'm able to get rid of the Munchlax, which is just amazing, as he brings in his Galvantula and just revenge kills me with the Thunder. So I know my last bet to take down this Galvantula is to live one Thunder with my Bouffalon and then hit him with the head charge, and since Bouffalon do have very natural good bulk, I know I can live, but unfortunately for me, he does get the paralysis and then I get fully paralyzed same turn. So at this point, I'm pretty much thinking that it's a good game and that I've lost. So I'm just going to leave in my Bouffalon for Death Fodder, and I'm going to take this opportunity to go into my Gardevoir. And I'm not going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, I'm not going to go for a Wish, I'm actually just going to go straight for the Psychic on the off chance that if he did want to stay in, I could bring in my Feraligatr next turn and hopefully be able to KO him with an Aqua Jet. But that is not the case, as he does opt to switch on to Druddigon. Now this was a very key play, because since I know I cannot speed Druddigon, I can go for a Will-O-Wisp, be able to live one more than likely Choice Banded Outrage, and next turn be able to pass a Wish off to my Feraligatr as I do faint from the second Outrage. And I'm hoping that he does get a 3-turn Outrage. That way, on the third Outrage, I know I can live, be able to get my Wish up, and have at least one Sword Dance. But unfortunately for me, he actually only gets the 2-turn Outrage. Now this is where the battle gets very crucial. He can either predict me to go for a Sword Dance as he switches down to his Galvantula, or he can leave me Druddigon and just go for an Outrage hoping he breaks through the confusion. But luckily for me, he does actually decide to stay in, allowing me to set up one Sword Dance. So next turn, even if he does switch out to Galvantula, I will be at +4 regardless. So now this battle is easily going to be in my favor, because I will be able to KO the Galvantula with the +4 Adamant Stabbed Life Orb Aqua Jet, and as he brings in Claydol, I will be able to KO that with a Waterfall. So that was the very narrow 1-0 victory in my favor. Very fun, very good game, the Lightning Flare. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and if you did, the like button is down there, and please feel free to leave a comment, guys. And with that, I do believe I am out of here. Later.